Good evening, viewers. Tonight, we'll be diving into a complex and troubling topic that has the potential to impact the world as we know it. We'll be discussing the pursuit of a new world order and the potential consequences it may have on human rights. The architects behind this endeavor seek to rewrite the global balance of power, and in doing so, they may engage in various activities that violate the basic human rights of individuals. It's important to note that the pursuit of a new world order could involve infiltration into businesses worldwide, forced labor, money laundering, and other unlawful practices that could ultimately harm innocent people. Our panel of experts will be discussing these specific aspects and delving into the potential consequences for human rights. It's a sobering topic, but one that we believe is important to explore, so that we can all be better informed about the potential risks and dangers that lie ahead. Welcome back to our series on the pursuit of a new world order and its implications for peace and order. Today, we have a panel of experts who will share their expertise on this complex and controversial topic. First, we have Bob, an expert in military strategy and tactics. He will shed light on how the pursuit of a new world order may affect military strategies and tactics. Next, we have Alice, a historian with a deep understanding of past attempts at global governance. She will help us understand the historical context of this pursuit and its implications for human rights. We also have Mark, an expert in international relations, who will share his insights on how governments should be held accountable in this pursuit. Lastly, we have Joe, an economist who will discuss the potential economic consequences of a shift in global power dynamics. With such a diverse range of expertise, we hope to provide our viewers with a comprehensive and insightful discussion on this important topic. Alice, in our last episode, you spoke about the consequences of a shift in power in the world markets. Can you expand on that and also discuss the potential consequences for regular citizens living under such regimes or unlawful governments?
Of course. When we talk about a shift in power in the world markets, we're talking about a situation where certain countries are able to exert undue influence on the global economy. This can have severe consequences for regular citizens, as the value of their currency can be artificially inflated or deflated, leading to higher prices for goods and services, and a decrease in the purchasing power of their wages. Furthermore, when a country is able to gain control over key resources or industries, they may use their power to exploit workers or engage in other unethical practices. This is why it's so important for us to monitor these developments closely and hold our leaders accountable for any actions that could harm the well-being of regular citizens.
Thank you for that insightful explanation, Alice. It's clear that the pursuit of a new world order can have far-reaching consequences for everyone. In our next episode, Bob will discuss the potential impact on military strategies and tactics, so be sure to tune in. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you found this content informative. Welcome back, viewers. In our pursuit to understand the potential consequences of a new world order, we have a panel of experts with us today. We just had a fascinating discussion with Alice, a historian who shed some light on the possible implications for human rights. Now, let's turn to our next expert, Bob, who has a deep understanding of military strategy and tactics. Bob, can you give us some insight on how this pursuit may affect military strategies and tactics?
Absolutely, host. The pursuit of a new world order could potentially have a significant impact on military strategies and tactics. In fact, history has shown us that power struggles between nations have often led to conflicts, and a shift in global power dynamics could increase the likelihood of these conflicts.
Can you provide some examples of how this has played out in the past?
Certainly. One example is the build-up to World War II, when the shift in power dynamics between the Allied powers and the Axis powers led to the escalation of tensions and ultimately, war. Another example is the Cold War, where the rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union led to proxy wars in different parts of the world.
That's a good point, Bob. How can military strategies and tactics be affected by a new world order?
A new world order could change the dynamics of military alliances, which could in turn impact the strategies and tactics used by different countries. For instance, if a new power rises and threatens the status quo, other countries may have to re-evaluate their military alliances and adjust their strategies and tactics accordingly.
Thank you, Bob, for that enlightening discussion. Before we move on to our next expert, can you give us some more examples of historical events that may be used by those seeking a new world order?
Sure. There are many examples throughout history. One that comes to mind is the rise of Nazi Germany in the 1930s. Hitler used propaganda to rally support for his agenda of expanding Germany's territory and creating a new order in Europe. He also employed military tactics to quickly conquer neighboring countries. Another example is the Soviet Union's takeover of Eastern Europe after World War II. The USSR used its military might to impose communist regimes in these countries, essentially creating a new order in the region.
Thank you, Bob, for sharing those examples. It's important to understand the historical context and potential strategies that could be used in pursuit of a new world order. Now, let's welcome our next expert, Mark. Mark, could you briefly introduce yourself and your expertise to our viewers?
Certainly. I'm an international relations expert, specializing in the role of governments and their accountability to the people.
Thank you, Mark. In our previous discussions, we talked about the importance of holding governments accountable. How do you see this playing out in the context of a potential new world order?
It's crucial that we continue to hold governments accountable, even in the face of a potential new world order. If power is concentrated in the hands of a few, there's a risk of abuse and corruption. We need to ensure that governments are transparent and responsive to their citizens, and that human rights are protected.
Thank you, Mark, for that insightful perspective. Our next expert is Joe, who will shed light on the economic implications of a new world order. Welcome back, viewers. Before we dive into our discussion with our final expert, Joe, let's take a moment to appreciate the insights that our previous three invitees, Alice, Bob, and Mark, have shared with us. Alice, our resident historian, helped us understand the historical context of the pursuit of a new world order and the impact it has had on the rise and fall of empires throughout history. Bob, our military strategist and tactics expert, shed light on how this pursuit could affect military strategies and tactics, using real-world examples from history such as the Trojan horse and the Battle of Cannae. Mark, our expert on government accountability, stressed the importance of holding governments accountable for their actions and decisions, and gave us a glimpse into the potential consequences for human rights when this accountability is lacking. With such diverse and insightful perspectives, we're better equipped to understand the complexities of the pursuit of a new world order and its potential impact on our world today. Now, let's turn our attention to our final expert, Joe, and his expertise in economic systems and globalization. Joe, can you tell us more about how these factors play into the pursuit of a new world order?
Yes, certainly. One factor that is often overlooked in discussions about the pursuit of a new world order is the role of technology. With advancements in technology, it has become easier for those in power to monitor and control populations. This can be seen in the use of social media and other forms of digital communication to track and surveil individuals, as well as the use of drones and other advanced weaponry in military operations.
That's a really interesting point, Joe. How do you see these technological advancements impacting the pursuit of a new world order?
Well, there are a few different ways. First, these technologies can be used to manipulate public opinion and shape narratives. We've already seen this happening with the spread of fake news and disinformation online. Additionally, these technologies can be used to suppress dissent and silence those who speak out against those in power.
So, do you see a potential for technology to be used as a tool of oppression in the pursuit of a new world order?
Absolutely. I think we need to be very careful about how we use and regulate these technologies moving forward, and ensure that they are not being used to violate human rights or suppress freedom of speech.
That's a really important point. Do you see any other factors that could impact the pursuit of a new world order?
Well, another factor that is often overlooked is the role of economics. As we've seen with the rise of globalism and the growing power of multinational corporations, economic forces can be just as powerful as military or political forces in shaping the world order. We need to be aware of the ways in which economic inequality and exploitation can drive conflict and instability.
Absolutely. It's important to remember that the pursuit of a new world order is not just about military or political power, but also about economic power and control. Thank you for sharing your insights with us today, Joe.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure to discuss these important issues.
And that concludes our discussion today on the potential dangers and consequences of the pursuit of a new world order. Thank you to our esteemed panel of experts for sharing your insights and expertise with us. We learned from Alice, the historian, about the impact of power shifts on human rights and the danger of repeating historical mistakes. Bob, the military strategist, shared examples of historical events that could be used as a blueprint for the architects of a new world order. Mark, the political scientist, discussed the importance of holding governments accountable and the potential consequences for failing to do so. And Joe, the economist, shed light on the financial and psychological factors at play in this pursuit. Join us in the next episode as we delve further into the subject with our experts, discussing the potential implications for international relations, global economics, and the role of technology in shaping our future. Stay tuned for more thought-provoking discussions and don't forget to give us a thumbs up to support this content. Thank you for watching.